What's going on, guys? It's Marcel Benson, investor and entrepreneur, and I am back with another watch list for this week. Okay, now, if anybody was tuned in last week and you took heed to the plays that I said in the video, just like this one last week, you could have potentially made 3,000% on your money. Go back through my TikTok, go back through my Instagram, go back through the videos here on YouTube, and you will see that I called these plays specifically, right? Told you the targets. A lot of stuff that I don't do for free. I was giving you guys a few things that I give in my group. I didn't give every single entry, on the videos, but I did give quite a bit. Like, it was enough for you to more than triple your money, right? For free. So I want y'all to definitely make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, and comment so that other people can get this message, right? My whole thing is providing a platform that I wish I would have had when I was learning, right? And it's like, well, you figured it out. It's just like, but yeah, do you want to take as long as it took for me to figure out? Do you want to lose $50,000? Do you want to go through all the like the hurdles and stuff that I went through? Not saying that there's anything wrong with learning through experience, because you're going to have to do that anyway, but it doesn't have to be as severe. That's what wisdom is. It's being able to see what somebody else has already done and be able to navigate from that. It's able to take, wise counsel from somebody who is actually doing it and showing it, right in front of your face. Okay. So if you want more videos like that, just hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. All right. We're going to get right into this video. All right. So today I'm going to be giving you guys another 3 stocks that have the potential to do extremely well this week. Okay. Some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you is for an extended period of time. So I'm actually recycling one of the plays that I used last week that, that has the potential to go even further. And we'll get into that in just a second. But, yeah, we got some really good stuff coming up. And the market is like in a pretty interesting place right now. And I'll get into exactly what that means in the video. But the market is in a very interesting place. And there's going to be a lot of trickery that lies ahead. So if you're new, you do not want to be doing this by yourself. This is kind of like, like riding in a car without a governor, without a seatbelt. You know what I mean? Like anything could go down, right? So you want to make sure that you are, whether it's mine or somebody else's, just in community with people that know what they're doing so that you don't get caught up in some of the stuff. Because what's going to happen is some of the obvious plays are going to go through a little dance. I'll also explain what that means in this video. But a lot of the plays that look obvious are going to go through a dance. I've seen this number plenty of times, right? This is how people go from being like, I know how to trade, but for some reason I'm not profitable. There's always something in the year, right? Multiple things in the year where there's some like dramatic pivot that is leading to an overall bigger thing that's taking place in the market. And it happens on like 1 or 2 days. Sometimes it's a week long, and you can lose everything that you've made up until that moment. It's almost like a riptide or like a current or something like that. Like you could be chilling above the surface, and then all of a sudden, right, now you're in water that's a little too deep, and all of a sudden you cannot get out of it, right? So you do not want that to happen. So it's important that you definitely take heed. But we're going to jump into the charts in just a second. So the stocks that I'm doing this week are MRK, Merck, right? It's a healthcare company. I'm also revisiting SPY, Standard & Poor's, the SPY index. We all love that. And I'm also doing Meta, right? So we're going to jump right into MRK's chart. So as you all know, MRK has been something that's been just consolidating for a very long time. Like if you look at, let me try to make this chart a little bit smaller. But if you look at this chart, you see that it had like a falling wedge, right? I don't know what happened to this line right here, but it should have been a line like going diagonally here. But it was a falling wedge, and then we got the breakout, made some good money there. But for weeks, For weeks, it's just been consolidating in this little range right here. Consolidating. Now, this is where things get a little sophisticated, right? So when you see consolidation for an extended period of time, it just means that there's a strong move that's on the way. Now, that strong move can be up or down, but since it broke out of this this wedge, my guess is that the move is going to be up. Another reason that I believe that this stock is going to take off is not just because it has gaps to fill to the upside, but because tech is getting ready to take a major dump, right? That's what SPY is made of. If you guys saw my video last week, we made 1,000% plus in SPY alone just from a couple of plays, right? Because it dumped. SPY was in a rising wedge and it fell out of that wedge. We'll talk more about that when we get to SPY, but I want you to understand that SPY is what holds the technology companies. So if the tech companies are taking a dump and SPY is taking a dump along with them, healthcare is inverted to technology. So typically when technology is pumping, healthcare will not be. And when healthcare is pumping, technology won't be. It just somehow, goes like that for some reason. There's rotations in the market. So we're going to go into a brief rotation of healthcare, pumping and seeing tech come down. So I'm really watching for MRK to do really well this week, possibly in the next couple of weeks, but I will be looking for entries. As long as we can break above this 86.16, right? If we find a way to break above this 86.16 this week, then this stock will then go to its next target of 96.53. If it can break out of that and fill this gap here, then it's lights out, clear to 100, right? Of course, 100, you always get hesitation as it's a psychological level, whether it's the day of it hitting 100 or the next day. It's just like 100 is when people kind of are like, all right, let's see if this is too expensive. You'll notice that whenever a stock hits $100, coming from, whatever it's coming from, when it hits 100 or around 100, 101, 102, something like that, you'll find a rejection that takes place. It happened with Robinhood. It's happened with so many different stocks that were under $100. So that's MRK. Definitely keep that on your radar. And again, look, y'all, if you're not tapped into the Prosperity Collective, listen, it's not a sales pitch because nothing needs to be sold here. When you see the price and when you see what we have, you're going to be like, why are y'all not charging triple the price? But we are actually going to be charging triple the price starting on August 15th. So anybody that's in before that is grandfathered in. All right, let's jump to this next stock real quick. So the next stock is Meta, right? So when we look at Meta, and just briefly, I'll cut these. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Just briefly, I'll cut this off, so it's not as confusing. But Meta, you see this huge gap right here, right? You see this double top right here. Okay, now sometimes what happens with a double top is it doesn't honor it immediately, right? We know a double top sends a stock downward hard, right? You see a double top, a lot of times it'll send a stock crashing. The last time the stock was at this level, you see it came down, from 740 all the way to 473, right? We talking about $300, right? So what happens again, sometimes the obvious move is not what happens, right? You'll see the double top and then you'll get something like this, you'll get a pullback gap up and then a reversal signal, right? And then the descent back downward and then the move is made, right? So I'm looking for Meta to fall pretty hard. And again, if SPY falls hard, it makes sense. With the way that SPY is looking, it makes sense that Meta will be coming down pretty hard. I do believe that there is a really, really disturbing and spooky bear market that's on its way, right? What I've been, advising my clients and then also the members of my group to do is to, kind of be putting money to the side that you're ready to invest and take advantage of the crash from your profits from options, right? We're a little overextended, a little higher than we need to be thinking about leaps. I know I made a video about leaps the other day. Go check that out. But leaps are only purchased when the stock market is down. Okay, it doesn't make sense to do it when it's up because you're putting yourself at higher risk. So Meta looks like it's going to fall. When it falls, when the rest of the market falls, when SPY crashes, that's when we are going to start positioning ourselves and scaling into leaps for 2 to 3 years out on some of the best companies on the stock market. All right. So yeah, that's Meta. Meta wants to fill this gap. It wants to come down. It also, like I said, y'all know how I say, when something skips steps, it has to come back and make up for it. You got this gap right here, 1, gap right here, 2, gap right here, 3, 4 gaps. When have you seen a company with 4 gaps and not come back and fill a few of them at least, right? It's a shaky foundation. I want you to imagine a stock with gaps and multiple gaps. Think about it like Jenga. It's only so long that you can play Jenga and have gaps before that whole thing comes crashing down. Remember this, okay? When you're thinking about gaps in the market and you see multiple, it's playing Jenga. It's skipping steps. It's poking holes in the foundation. So eventually it's going to collapse. All right. Write that down. All right. Next up we have, and this is, last but not least for sure, is SPY. Right? SPY. Straight up. There's a little gap right here. So what I'm thinking, let me cut this back on so you guys can really see. What I'm thinking, you see how we had that rising wedge that I told y'all about? I called this out. We made so much money right here, man. What can happen is this gap can come back and get filled really quickly, which is what I believe is going to happen. I do believe that we may get like a little dump to retest this area right here. You see that? This level is about 612.39. So we may get another dump to retest that. And then I believe we go and take off for a little bit to clean this gap back up. And then we're going to have our descent down to clean up these previous 3 gaps, right? It's going to be nasty. Okay. It is going to be nasty. All right. Like this video, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions about this specifically, how you can get more details on entry so that you can double, triple, quadruple, quintuple your money, right? I'm not just saying, I'm a Capricorn. I don't waste words. I'm not just saying this to say it. Everything that comes out of my mouth are things that are very realistically on the horizon or we've actually done. Okay. So when I say you could, quintuple your money, I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you what I'm seeing here on the charts. Okay, so again, if you need a community that is supportive, can get those questions answered, unlike a lot of popular communities, you got to lock in with the Prosperity Collective. We are currently at a ridiculously low price, which I was arguing with Zay the other day. We're not arguing, but I was just telling him yo, we are charging people way too little for this. I'm talking about this is something that could be charged. And we've even had people in the group say you could charge 3 times this. And like I said, we actually are going to be doing that on August 15th. But the beautiful thing is all of those people that been rocking with us from the beginning, they locked in. Everybody that gets in before August 15th, they are locked in, grandfathered into that price. I'm not even going to say it what the price is right now because it's embarrassing. But everybody that's in before August 15th, locked into that price. It's triple after that. And we are not, taking that back or recanting that. No, we are only going to be going up from that triple because what we're providing is been consistent. We've had people leave their jobs. We've had people change their lives, right? We got people on vacation coming back from vacation. I did this with the group. All right. So again, I appreciate you all for locking in. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Appreciate y'all for locking in. And I'm telling you, man, get with a community, Whether, like I said, whether it's us or somebody else, but the trading on your own is going to lead you to making mistakes that's not even necessary, right? Why fall on your face when you can just fall on your knee and then get right back up? You see what I'm saying? Like, why feel the ultimate pain if you don't have to necessarily do that? I've been rapping, so I'm gonna get up out of here. Again, y'all, the link is in the description, right? Hit the link, join the community. Yeah, it's always love over here. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.